Today we gather at the intersection of education and technology, two forces that are revolutionizing the way we learn, teach, and grow. As we navigate the complexity of the 21st century, it is clear that the future of education is not about textbooks and classrooms, but about harnessing the power of technology to unlock human potential. In this episode, I'll explore the latest innovations, insights, and best practices in Edutech. We will hear from an expert, practices, and how educational technology has evolved over the past decade, how effective are online learning platforms compared to traditional classroom settings. These and many more would be our focus today, and with me on the virtual channel is TAIWO DISU, an Edutech expert, and he is here to educate us. My name is Abeokuta and you are watching ICT Today. TAIWO, glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start with this. How has educational technology evolved over the past decade?
So educational technology has evolved over the years, I must say, over the past decade. Looking back some 10 years, 15 years back, what we have now, we don't have them before. When we were in school back then, we were just basically going to school, taking your notes, and learning whatever it is you are being taught in class. And that was it. That was the basic things that we have. But over the past decade, I think technology has helped, has come into play, and has made things more easier. We've seen the advent of a lot of edtech platforms for young people, for teenagers, for women, for girls. A lot of amazing things has come up in the past decade, and this has changed, the educational sector for good. We have the advent of learning management systems, school portals, a lot of technological advancement that has evolved, and this has actually empowered the educational system, and I think this is very good.
I quite agree with you that there has been significant changes in the way we learn compared to how it was in the last 10 years, and we will only do ourselves a disservice by denying that truth. So we'll move on to the next question, which is, what are the key benefits of integrating technology into education? Can you briefly explain to us the key benefits that we get to gain while technology is being integrated to our educational system?
So there are a lot of benefits attached to infusing tech into education. First off, I think it's going to help school management. For example, there's what Edvis is doing now, helping school management to track their students' performances, track what the schools are doing, give reports on number of students and all of those things. I think this is one of the things that tech can help to do in education, proper school management. Also, it helps students to learn very fast. It gives access to more resources for students to learn from. Unlike the regular textbooks and everything that we use every day in school, tech now opens more opportunities for students to be able to access more content, more curriculums, even better ways of studying, and have access to more materials in their day-to-day classes. Also, it helps our students to compete in the global market when we infuse tech into the education. Students across in Nigeria, for example, across Africa, with the help of tech, they are now in the same space with other students globally. They know what it entails in the tech space, in the tech ecosystem. So this even give them more motivation, more ways to do things in the general global space. Another benefit is that it helps with skill development and digital literacy. Students now have more knowledge in the digital space. They have better ways to do things, better ways to answer questions, better ways to even learn Tech now make learning very easy. It can be gamified, for example. Amazing things that you can do with tech to learn. So this also helps, and it also helps with easy access to tracking students' performances. Once we impute tech into education, students can track their performances. Parents can also track performances of their wards, from their phones, from their gadgets. Schools can also send, report cards and all of those things to parents just to track how the student is doing. Like before, you have to wait for your report sheet, you have to come for PTA meetings, for example, to speak to their teachers to know how your ward is doing. Tech now makes all of this very easy. You can send your student performances to you. You can check on your phone, see where your ward is lagging behind, see their best subjects, And this can also help you to now train them to say, okay, you are lagging in mathematics, for example. Take more classes, take more lessons. So these are some of the benefits I think that exists integrating, tech into the educational system. Yes.
We have seen the benefits, and that takes us to the next question, which is, what challenges do schools face when implementing Edutech solutions?
Schools face a lot of challenges, I must say, various challenges that they face. I'll quickly give an example. I went to a school, I visited a school as part of our, school tours that we're doing for TEENDIL, for example, and on getting to that school, it's a school in Ogun State, Abeokuta, I won't mention the name. They're trying to adopt a British curriculum, for training their students and their wards in their school. And on getting there, they had some very amazing tech setup, that they've put together so that they can really stand out and keep to the standard they are trying to, sell to their market. What I noticed, or what the director was saying, was that the adoption of these things was difficult. Teachers need to learn. They need to know how to use these things so that they can then use it to pass, the learning to their wards. This was really difficult for them. She mentioned that, they are still going to train those teachers. They need to learn. They need to relearn as well. And in the tech space, things change very quickly. So as you're learning, you also need to learn again to the new changes, to the new technology innovation that's coming on. So that's one of the challenges, that is really key. The learning process for teachers to be able to adopt some of these technical tools and to be able to now, use it to train those students. That's one part. Another part is for students to be able, the openness and willingness of some of these students to be able to adjust and adapt to the technical world in itself, because all of us were used to taking our notebooks, taking our textbooks, listening in classrooms and doing all of that to learn. But with the advent of tech, a big challenge now is how to move the mindset of these young people to now adopt, learning with tech. It's a bit difficult for both teachers and the students. So that's one of the challenges, that that keeps reoccurring in adopting tech in schools. Another one is majorly is budget. I gave an example earlier. One of the things that also came up was budgeting. You need to provide a lot of hardwares, a lot of setup you need to do in your school to cater for the tech solutions that you're putting up. Hardware, software, internet, all of these infrastructures, you need to put them in place. And you need a lot of money. Well, maybe not a lot, but you need very good sum of money and budgeting for this. So this is a challenge for most schools. And that is why it's a big challenge, a big problem for them to adopt tech very easily, into schools, because they have to create all of these infrastructures for those things to work. So that's another major one, budgeting. Another one is digital divide. So what I mean by digital divide is for some of the students, the access to some of these infrastructures. For example, some students can afford to have a laptop, an iPad, or a phone, for example. Some cannot, and this is because of where they come from, for example, family income, all fingers are not equal, like they say, so it's a challenge to get all of these things in place. Some may have, some will not have. So how do you balance that equation? How do you make everybody, have the things that they need to even access, the tech solutions, for example? So this is another major challenge that occurs, when you're trying to onboard a tech solution. Another one is sustainability. It's one thing to bring in all of these innovations, to set it up, to put it up. Then how do you maintain them? How do you sustain it? You need facilities, you need people to actually be on ground to troubleshoot. For example, if there's a problem with your servers or anything, you need technical guys to be on ground to put some things in place. So you can start it, and it's part of your school plans now. But how do you sustain it? The big challenge for schools, they need to keep funding those parts of what they do. So that's another major challenge. Another one I would say is generally technical infrastructures across Nigeria, across different states in the country. I know that now it's beginning to change. For example, I think Ogun State is laying digital cables across the states. I know the federal government also, implemented some changes to set up like digital infrastructures across the state as well, to be able to help the technical advancement the government is planning. But aside all of that, generally there's still this technical infrastructure deficiency. Access to internet, to even browse on your phone, for example, is a lot of problem. Data issues, access to internet, power, for example, is another major one. There's no light, and these are like basic tools that you need to even make tech to work. So if these things are not in place, there's a lot of problems. There's no power, there's no access, there's no internet. There are no regular digital access to get some things that you need. So all of these are some of the challenges I think that exist in adopting Edutech in our educational system.
And I would like to state here that how does Edutech improve students' engagement and motivation? We know that some people tend to listen more when they are in the conventional classrooms, but now that everything has been moved to online, has there been any significant change or any improvement in students' ability to learn and their engagement and motivation?
So Edutech has improved student engagement and motivation in a lot of ways. One major one I would say is it has helped in enhancing collaboration. For example, I was on a platform where I was a judge on tech projects for teenagers, and with what I saw, students were able to collaborate and come up with very amazing tech ideas. They were put in different groups, and they were able to work together to share ideas and come up with amazing tech innovations. All of this shows that, with the introduction of tech, it has helped to motivate these students, help them to engage better. Another one is that it has also helped in personalized learning for students. Students can now know some of the areas they are lagging behind in terms of their academics, where they are not doing well, subjects they are not doing so well in, subjects they are doing amazingly well in. This can help to also motivate the students, motivate them to get better, to learn more, to put in more effort in some of the areas that they are not doing well. So these are some of the quick things that I would say that Edutech has helped in increasing and enhancing students' engagement.
Everything we do in life, there is no way that we can deny the fact that anything and everything can be personalized. I would like to state here that in what ways can Edutech personalize the learning experiences for students? How effective are online learning platforms compared to traditional classrooms settings?
So yeah, there are different ways EdTech can help to personalize learning for students. A good example I would say is, with the advent of generative AI now, doing amazing things in the tech space. Students can make use of some of these tools, AI tools, to create, tailored content for themselves in terms of their learning. This EdTech tool can help them to become better. They can set up study calendars. They can form community engagement. They can use this to even find solutions and quick answers to some of the questions that they would love to find answers to. AI can help them to do that. ChatGPT is another amazing example of what students can also use in personalizing their learning experiences. You can go on ChatGPT, for example, and just put, just type in how to build a how to build an helicopter or an aeroplane or something, or how to put data, or how to bring data to my school, how to set up a data hub in my school. Any question you want to ask, put it on ChatGPT, and you see that you can get quick and solid answers, to some of these questions that you're asking. And this helps you to personally, or to personally learn, to personally develop yourself and get better. These are some of the things that EdTech has helped in personalizing learning experiences for some of our students. Online learning platform, I would say, has been very effective compared to the traditional learning methods that we would always have. I think that it has helped to make learning more fun for our students, more easier to use. Students can go on different platforms now and get access to content, to curriculums that they would naturally maybe struggle to get. For example, you can go on YouTube now. YouTube, at the end, YouTube is a tech platform. However you want to use it, it depends on how you want to use it. You can go on YouTube and learn anything. You can go on YouTube and search for different things and get responses and have answers to some of the questions you're looking for. Some of our students nowadays are always on TikTok. That's one popular platform that everybody would talk about. But I know that on TikTok as well, they are learning materials, they are learning content on there that students can also consume and take in, aside the everyday you are always dancing and doing. I'm not saying those parts are not fun. You can use it for all of those things too, but these are like very quick platforms that I know that students are really engaged with. It just depends on how you want to use them and what you are looking for, compared to when you always just sit down in classrooms and you're in a box and you're just, somebody is in front of you saying things to your head and you're not really like engaging and sometimes understanding some of these things. Online platforms now, or tech platforms now, has made it very easy, for you to learn. You can be anywhere and read. You can be with your phone, with your tablet, and open your courses and study. You don't even need to sit in one place. You can be you can be in your eatery, you can be anywhere, and then you are learning. That's what tech has been able to do, rather than just sitting in a box and in a classroom or walls of classroom and you're learning. So there's more accessibility. It's easier now. There are platforms that even gamify some of this content. An example, for example, I'll say is Scissors, for example. Scissors is an EdTech platform that you can learn languages, for example. And the way they made it is they gamified this content for students to be able to look at it and pay attention. So it's like you're watching cartoon and then you are actually learning languages. So these are some things that technology has brought, online technology has brought, that has made it different from the regular traditional classes that we just sit down and our teacher is talking to our head. You have to read textbooks and all of those things. It's now more different. And I feel again that online platforms is more cost effective now. All you need to do is get your data and have a device or a gadget. But unlike the traditional learning platforms where you have to pay tuition fees to be in classroom, pay school fees, buy textbooks, all of those things. This has made that, a bit obsolete now, and it has reduced, those costing that you normally incur as even parents and also for students as well. So these are like the advantages or like the difference that online tech platforms has brought.
We have seen several innovations in education, in science, and the likes. So I want to say here that what are some of the most innovative edutech tools currently available in the online platform? What are those tools? Can you briefly name them, mention them, give us insights on those tools that are currently available, the latest ones?
So there are a lot of edtech tools, a lot of them, I must say. TEENDIL is one major one that you need to go on and learn from. It's TEENDIL. There is YouTube. I mentioned YouTube. You can learn amazing things on YouTube depending on what you're looking for. There's Coursera. Coursera offers a lot of free courses. On any course you want to learn, any part of tech or whatever you want to learn. I've mentioned TEENDIL, I've mentioned YouTube, I've mentioned Coursera, there's Udemy, I mentioned Teasers, for example, there's GitHub, there's Kahoot, there's Google Classroom. All of these are amazing tools or amazing platforms that you can go to learn. Some courses are free, some they do a lot of discounts for that you can pay very small amounts to learn from. So it just depends on what you're looking for and how you want to use those platforms. So you can go through all of these ones I mentioned and more, and then you definitely get what you're looking for.
As we are about to round off, how can you explain to us, I want you to explain to us how Edutech can be used to support students with special needs. We cannot deny the fact that there are peculiar students, people with special challenges, people with challenges and people with special needs. What are the challenges of ensuring equitable access to Edutech for all students?
Edtech can be used to support students with special needs in different various ways. I'll touch on some few ones. There are assisted tools, AI assisted tools that can help to transcribe, for example, text to speech, text to audio format, for depending on the need of the students, depending on the situation of the students. These tools can help to transcribe text into audio formats, transcribe audio formats into text, or into even audio visuals. AI has even also improved to the level that it can create videos. People have started creating videos using AI platform. So these are tools that can be used for students with special needs. Another one I would say is communication aid, for example. Virtual reality, augmented reality, VR and AR. These are platforms or these are tools that can also be deployed for children or students with special needs to cater for the exact problems that they have and still not leave them out in the learning process. So yeah, these are some of the things that can be put in place. Another one I'll say is alternative formats. There are text formats, there are audio formats, there are video formats, depending on the special need or the need of some of the students. These formats can be created, to support them, to assist them, to meet them at that need that they have, and they can always pick up these learning experiences based on these provisions, and they are able to still function properly, be the best of themselves, and not feel left out or feel they have any issue or they are students or children with special needs. Yeah.
And as we close, how can schools bridge the digital divide among students from different socio-economic backgrounds?
Schools can bridge the divide among students from different backgrounds in different ways. First of all, I think schools need to provide digital infrastructures, provide access to internet, provide internet services in their schools. This will cater for everybody, regardless of your background. Make available school Wi-Fi's, technological labs in their school to put everybody together and to carry everybody along. Another thing I feel schools can do also is to drive policy change with government. Government have access to everybody, have access to different locations, in any area or geopolitical zone. So if schools can partner with government in terms of putting policies that can attract everybody, regardless of your background, it will help to touch everybody and bridge that gap or bridge the digital divide that exists. Another one is I feel like school can also foster community engagement. This is very key, and community building is also a very important part in the tech space as well. Schools need to foster more community engagement through the community centers, tech labs, amazing things that they can put in different communities and pulling all of these students, in such areas and such communities through some of these outreaches and programs. Like that, they can bridge the gap, put everybody in the same space, make everybody feel equal, make everyone feel carried along. Like that, they can solve the problem of digital divide.
Taiwo, thank you for joining us on the show today, and I'm very sure that when next we call on you, you'll be glad to answer us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
From acting as a support to people with special needs to bridging the digital divide among students from different socio-economic backgrounds, Edutech is creating and shaping the future of education. And on that note, we come to the end of today's package. Kindly connect with us on all our social platforms for news and happenings around you. Like, share, and subscribe to our channels. Click the bell icon to receive notification when we post new updates and content. And until next time when I return with another package, always remember that if it is digital, it is part of ICT.